Most diets don't fail because people lack discipline. They fail because the strategy is flawed. So in this video, I'm ranking popular diet approaches based on what actually works. Not what's extreme, not what's trendy, but what controls hunger, protects muscle, fits real life, and doesn't rebound. The first one is a keto diet. It's a very low-carb, high-fat diet designed to use fat as the primary source of fuel. Keto is one of the most misunderstood diets because it does work. Initially, when carbs drop to near zero, insulin drops, appetite drops, water weight falls off, but people mistake that for fat loss. And here's the problem: keto doesn't teach control, it avoids it completely. You're not learning how to manage hunger in a normal environment. You're removing that stimulus entirely. No carbs, no social meals, no flexibility. And because of that, your training performance usually suffers because your glycogen tanks, and in turn your strength stalls. And because of this, when training quality drops, muscle retention becomes a real risk. And psychologically, it's heavy. Every single meal is a negotiation. Every social setting is friction. And the biggest issue that no one talks about is when you come off of it. The moment carbs come back, appetite spikes, your weight rebounds because the water's gone back up. So keto can be used in certain situations as a short-term appetite control tool. But as a long-term system for staying lean, it's not it, because it works until life shows up. And that's why keto is going straight into C tier. The next one is intermittent fasting. This is just an eating pattern which alternates eating and fasting without prescribing specific foods. For some reason, intermittent fasting gets lumped in with extreme diets, but that's just lazy thinking. Because it's not even a diet per se, it's more of a strategy. Because at its core, it just delays food decisions. And delaying food decisions is one of the most powerful appetite control tools there is. Because for many people, skipping breakfast actually removes hundreds of low-value calories without increasing hunger later in the day. If meals are placed properly, your training can still be good, protein can still be high, and calories can still be controlled without excessive tracking. And so psychologically, it's actually very simple. You're not eating less food types like keto, you're just eating less often. And that helps because socially it's flexible. You can still eat normal meals, you can still go out, and there's no real coming off intermittent fasting. You either open the window slightly or you just keep it forever. So overall, it just teaches restraint without the starvation. And that's why intermittent fasting is going straight into A. The next one is meal plans. This is a completely structured approach which gives you the certain foods and portions in advance of actually eating them. Meal plans look disciplined, but for the right person. They remove decision making, they remove variability, and they create compliance of it through the simplicity. A lot of the time, meal plans outsource the thinking. Because if someone buys a meal plan and never understands why it works, that's going to be an issue for them. Because the moment life disrupts that plan, their structure collapses. Overall, muscle retention is fine, training is also good, but psychologically, depending on the person, it can go either way. And again, it fails the social test. The whole point of a meal plan is for them to be somewhat restrictive. So travel, events, unplanned days become chaotic. So meal plans are good for short-term execution, but for long-term autonomy, they're not really up to the pack. For the right person, this could be A, but for me, I think meal plans fall in B. The next one is a protein-sparing modified fast. This is one you don't see often at all. This is a very low-calorie diet that prioritizes protein, but keeps the fat and the carbs very low. And to be fair, fat loss does happen very fast. And technically, because we have high protein, muscle can be retained. But realistically, it's just starvation with fancy dress on. You will be hungry, your energy is low, your training will probably suffer, and your recovery drops. Psychologically, it's extremely difficult to stick to. And socially, good luck. Just forget about it. This can't really work with real life. Unless you're extremely disciplined or extremely experienced, this isn't really going to work for you. For most people, this is just going to lead to binging. But as a general strategy, you're just asking to fail. For me personally, this is going in C. The next one, the famous carnivore diet. This is a dietary approach which restricts to animal-based foods only. If keto had a more extreme cousin, it would be carnivore. It's extremely high in protein, so your appetite will drop. And some people claim it works for them, but this isn't optimal at all. Training performance sucks, micronutrients suck, there's pretty much no fiber, and in a social setting, forget about it. Adapting to this diet is extremely difficult. And if you try to come off it, it's going to be a mess as well. When you reintroduce carbs and plants, you normally have digestive issues. Most people that actually go on carnivore just end up coming off anyway. This is not a good strategy at all. There's not much more to say on this one. Honestly, this is terrible. This is going in D. The next one is calorie cycling. This is a strategy which varies your intake depending on how much activity you're doing on any given day. So what you could do is, instead of being on 2,500 calories Monday to Friday, you could be on 2,000 calories Monday to Friday and then cycle the 2,500 that you've saved to the weekend. So you could eat 3,500 and 4,000 on Saturday and Sunday. And the good thing about this, you still stay in that calorie deficit. This works for the everyday person, but it also works for the active person. If the active person wants to eat extra calories on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, they can just do the calculations and cycle a lot of their calories on those days instead. So you can have a lower intake on low demand days and a higher intake on high demand days. So when it's done correctly, it controls hunger, keeps your training performance high, and can fit real life. You won't be fighting your appetite every day, and you won't be undereating when the demand is high. Psychologically, it's powerful because nothing is banned. Social events can be planned around, and you never really have to come off of it. And it teaches awareness instead of avoiding the problem. That's why there's only one place for calorie cycling, and that's S. There we go. Calorie cycling is the only one in S tier. Drop a like and comment if you disagreed on any of them, and tell me any that I didn't include. Catch you in the next one. Peace.